I'm a law enforcement officer for a federal agency. My area is in a section of the western United States that is sparsely covered by local agencies. Due to this sparsity of coverage, I'm often given calls in my area that can't be covered quickly by the locals. This was the situation at 10 p.m. on a Wednesday. The radio crackled to life with a call from my dispatcher telling me that there was a woman who was alone in an advanced stage of delivery. Not a normal call for me, it was not unusual either. According to my GPS, the woman was located about 10 miles from me. I was told it was a lonely farmhouse. Dispatch added again that the patient was alone. Lights and sirens on and pedal to the metal, I headed for the farmhouse. The road was paved at first, then degraded to a gravel red dog road. When I got to my destination, I found a 2-story unpainted clapboard farmhouse, steep roof, and porch across the front with steps leading up to it. I noticed the farmyard was empty, no vehicles. I wondered how she got here. Curious. The first aid bag was grabbed out of the back of my sedan, and I raced up the porch steps across the bare wooden floors to the door. After banging on the front screen door, I only hesitated a moment to enter after a loud moan emanated from behind the door. I announced myself and forced entry. Upon entering the house, I found myself in a bare living room. To the right was what appeared to be a dining room, complete with a table and a couple of chairs. A woman was in the table in a supine position, knees up. Her skirt was up about her waist. No underclothes. I quickly visually examined her, and it showed that the baby was crowning and the woman appeared semi-comatose. I opened the first aid kit and removed a packaged space blanket and a pair of latex gloves. The space blanket is a plastic sheet that's supposed to be used for warmth, and it was the only sterile sheet I had. I spread it out and placed it beneath the woman's hips to receive the baby. The birth proceeded as expected. Once the baby had exited the birth canal, I clamped off the umbilical cord and severed it. The baby made an unusual gurgling sound. I stuck my finger in the baby's mouth to clear it and received a sharp bite on my finger. I jerked my finger back and the baby looked at me, not a dissociated glance of a newborn, but a focused stare. My finger had teeth marks through the glove and had drawn blood on my fingertip. Few new babies had teeth at that age. My finger had not just been gummed. After I placed the baby on the blanket, my cell began to beat. The screen showed the EMT number, and so I answered it. Call reception was lousy, and I moved into the living room to get a better signal. They were unclear as to the location, so I turned my back to the woman and spoke to the EMT. I gave them exact directions to my location. They were coming from a different direction than I had come. After relaying the current conditions with my patient, I advised them of the need to hurry. When I turned around, I almost swallowed my teeth. The woman was on the table as I left her, but the baby was no longer on the blanket. In fact, the baby was nowhere in sight. Returning to the table and looking at the woman, I found her eyes were open and there was a small bite mark on the lower left side of her neck. Blood had spurted from the room all across the table and floor, indicating that a neck artery had been punctured. I checked the woman and found she had no pulse. She bled for at least 5 minutes as I had talked to the medical people. I administered CPR, but it was no use. I performed it for 5 minutes and still couldn't discern a heartbeat. I then started to look for the baby. I had noted small handprints on the woman's chin when I started CPR. On the table, I found baby-sized footprints leading from near the woman's head to the edge of the table. This was impossible. The baby was a newborn. A couple of tiny bloody footprints led across the floor from the table toward the open window. I looked out the window, which was about 4 foot off the ground, and there was nothing but yard. After checking the mother again and ascertaining that she was gone, I began looking around for the baby again. Failing to find the baby, I went and sat on the top step of the porch until the ambulance arrived. It was followed closely by a local police squad car. The EMTs carrying their bags ran across the yard up the porch steps and asked me what had happened. I replied quietly, "You figure it out." After the medics and accompanying police had finished their questions for me, I got up and walked to my car. I got in my car and left, promising never to return. I had neither desire nor curiosity to see what I imagined that baby could mature into.